So I did a couple videos referencing Lisa Page, the former FBI employee, and her closed-door testimony that was now made public that showed some of the corruption that was going on in these intel agencies with the Clinton and with the Russia investigation. Now her lover, Peter Strzok, who you'll remember from, he's the one who the text messages were released that showed he was texting Page. It said they needed an insurance policy against Trump. He could smell Trump supporters in Walmart, etc. His testimony is now from closed door, has now been shown to the public, and I'll try to read through it all and go through it. But here's an article from the Washington Examiner that's going to have a very critical role of exactly what was going on pertaining Peter Strzok and the FBI and their investigation into Hillary Clinton. It turns out that Hillary and her team were able to come to terms via the DOJ, which was Loretta Lynch's Department of Justice, controlled by Barack Obama, as to exactly what the FBI would be allowed to see. Now think about that for a moment. Obama, who publicly came out before any investigation and said Hillary did no wrong. His Department of Justice that we know was meeting Bill Clinton on a tarmac in secret, was bending over backwards, was telling Comey to not call this an investigation, to just call it a matter, who the FBI leaked text messages so the FBI agents were laughing because they knew no one in the DOJ would, under Obama, would ever charge Hillary Clinton. That Department of Justice comes to terms with Hillary Clinton's teams about exactly what the FBI is allowed to see in these emails. Now imagine this. Imagine that you are being accused of a crime by the FBI and they demand to see all of your emails, all of your computer servers, to see all of your emails and all of your business. And you say, no. I'll only allow a select few. Imagine that. Of course that would never happen. So let's read exactly what's going on in this Washington Examiner article. Fired FBI agent Peter Strzok told Congress last year that the agency did not have access to Clinton Foundation emails that were on Hillary's private server because of a consent agreement negotiated between the Department of Justice attorneys and counsel for Hillary Clinton. So again, that's Obama's Department of Justice, led by Loretta Lynch, who were not going to charge Hillary no matter what. The video I just did, in fact, showed that the FBI initially was going to charge Hillary for gross negligence, and the DOJ attorney said, no, we can't do that. We won't charge her. So the Loretta Lynch Department of Justice meeting with Hillary Clinton's people, they decided exactly what the FBI would be allowed to see. It says these were released in this transcripts from Strzok's closed-door testimony. When asked by then Major General Counsel Zachary Sommers if the Clinton Foundation was on the server, Strzok testified he believed it was on one of the servers, if not the others. But Strzok stressed that due to an agreement between the DOJ and Clinton, they were not allowed to search Clinton Foundation emails for information that could help in their investigation. The FBI would have been investigating emails in 2016 when former President Obama was still in office and when Clinton was running for candidate against Donald Trump. So Obama's political ally, who was his Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, whose Department of Justice did everything in their power to make sure wasn't charged, including meeting the head of it, Loretta Lynch, meeting Bill Clinton in secret on a tarmac and then refusing to recuse herself, and then telling Comey not to call it an investigation, to call it a matter, because they were afraid it would hurt Hillary's chances to get elected. Who Obama said before any investigation was innocent of any crimes, didn't do anything wrong. That Department of Justice, Hillary Clinton's allies, decided, we'll work with Hillary to see what emails investigators are allowed to see. Absolutely absurd, absolutely corrupt. Summers asked in 2018 hearing, were you given access to emails as part of the investigation? Strzok replied, we were not. We did not have access. The FBI's investigation into Clinton, called the mid-year exam, focused on whether she had mishandled classified information. Strzok testified that according to the DOJ attorneys, we lacked probable cause to get a search warrant for those servers and projected that it would either take a very long time and or it would be impossible to get to the point where we could obtain probable cause to get a warrant. Now, wait a minute. They had probable cause to search Trump's lawyers in the middle of the night, to raid them in the middle of the night. Think of all the people that have been accused or charged in the Trump investigation. Cohen, Flynn, Manafort, Papadopoulos, Roger Stone. Were they allowed to say, hey, I'll give you the evidence I think that you should be allowed to see. Let me work with people in the Trump administration and we'll come to a conclusion as to what emails you all should be allowed to see. No, they were raided in the middle of the night at gunpoint and everything was taken. But it seems like the situation was very different. They didn't have probable cause. Hillary had a server that they knew that classified information was on. She claimed that she thought there was no classified, which she knows from the agreement she signed wasn't true. That's probable cause enough. But it turns out the DOJ says, no probable cause. Unbelievable. Strzok testified the FBI did not have immediate access to Clinton servers, but rather obtained possession of the servers over time. Although the FBI would eventually gain possession of Clinton servers, it was only according to terms negotiated with Clinton lawyers. Strzok said that the FBI had it voluntarily in the context, in the case of the servers, voluntarily in the context of consent that was worked out between DOJ attorneys and counsel for Secretary Clinton. Strzok testified that the FBI's ability to search these emails was constrained. He said that there was a significant filter team that was put in place to work through the various terms of the various consent agreements. He listed just some of the restrictions placed on the FBI's team of Clinton's emails. Those could be, and this is not an exclusive list, this is quoting Strzok, limits to domains the FBI could look at, of date ranges the FBI could look at, of people that the FBI could look at, but that's not an exclusive list. Now, people that are going to defend this are going to say, oh, okay, but why did they need to see anything from the Clinton Foundation? They just needed to see in Hillary's private server business directly related to government if there was classified information on it. But here's the problem. It was more than that. As Strzok is saying here, they were severely constrained, not just with the Clinton Foundation, but they were reliant on this relationship and consent between Loretta Lynch and Obama's DOJ and Hillary Clinton's team. And so they were able to control not just things from the Clinton server, but domain names, people's names, date ranges. Everything the FBI was able to see was from a voluntary arrangement between Obama's DOJ, who wanted Hillary to win the election, was afraid this would hurt Hillary's chances, and Clinton's team, who obviously had incentive to only want certain things to be said. So imagine that. Imagine that, let's say Trump, right? He gets evidence subpoenaed against him, or someone close to Trump, right? And Trump decides, now wait. My people with my Department of Justice, so it would have been Jeff Sessions at one point, or Barr now. Barr will meet with, let's say Manafort. Barr will meet with Manafort's team and decide exactly what emails that Mueller's team or the FBI is allowed to look at. There would be riots in the street. People would say, this is absurd. This investigation's a sham. This is authoritarian. This is a banana republic, where you have allies investigating their own allies and giving consent as to what the FBI is allowed to look at. Yet that's exactly what happened in this situation. And no one seems to care. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now think about what this means. The entire Hillary Clinton, from the past videos I just did that showed that the FBI was going to charge her with gross negligence, even in what they could see. So here's the FBI. We know from text messages that they were massively biased, and many of them at the top levels wanted Hillary to win. We could see that from the actions of Comey afterwards, and how much he hated Trump, and how he even leaked to get a special counsel. So at the top level, and same with McCabe, we know that McCabe didn't like Trump. So at the top levels of the FBI, they don't like Trump, the people at the top of the investigation. They're only granted access to limited things, so they don't even get full access to be able to look at all the material. They're constrained by consent of basically what Hillary Clinton's lawyers allowed them to look at. Despite that, they still say, people like top counsel Baker says, hey, I think she did break the gross negligence standard. We have FBI agents and released text messages saying they know that people in Hillary's team straight up lied to them, such as Mills and Abedin, and that they find Hillary Clinton's claim that she thought the little C at the top of each document that means classified, she thought that was just alphabetical order. We know that FBI agents and their released text said that defined credulity. In other words, Hillary was lying. Yet none of them were charged. We know that the FBI was given access to certain people's material like Mills, her computer servers and her BlackBerry and things, only under the constraints that they would then smash them with a hammer afterwards. We know that the FBI still then subpoenaed more evidence from Hillary Clinton's team, who destroyed that subpoenaed evidence and wasn't charged for that. And despite all of this, at the end of the day, despite all of that going against, it makes it look like there's no way the FBI would ever charge. Still, Baker says we should probably charge her with gross negligence. And Lisa Page says that other people at the FBI were like, yeah, we think that there's a chance we're going to charge her with gross negligence. And then they go back to Lynch's DOJ, who never recused herself after meeting Bill Clinton on a tarmac. And they say, no, we're not going to, if you charge her, we won't prosecute. So the entire, we'll take the FBI at their word and we'll do what they recommend that Loretta Lynch said when she refused to recuse herself was a lie. This entire investigation into Hillary was a sham. Period. Bar none. And I'll do another video specifically on the most damning piece of evidence for this. But this, what's being released here by Strzok, that the FBI was only allowed to review emails and information from the server that Hillary's team agreed with Loretta Lynch's team on? Absolutely absurd. Ridiculous. This would never happen. 99.999% of us wouldn't get, if the FBI said, hey, we're subpoenaing evidence for you, wouldn't get to say, no, wait, I'll just give you what I pick and choose. And the FBI go, oh, okay, well, can we subpoena a little more? Nah, I destroyed the subpoena evidence. Oh, okay, no problem. No one needs charged. It is absolutely ridiculous. And if the FBI was corrupt in this manner, that means that they did so because they wanted Hillary Clinton to win. And this is the beginning of them picking and choosing. Our votes don't matter. Our voice doesn't matter. It's the intel agencies that matter. Now, the last thing, and if you think they did it here, just wait until we get to more information comes out as to exactly what they did with the Russia investigation. This is just half of the story. This is how corrupt they were in exonerating Hillary Clinton. Wait until we see what they did in the witch hunt to go after Trump to try to sway the election or get rid of a duly elected president. The last thing I'll say about this is the press knew all of this. They knew all of this information, yet they're the ones telling you, oh, to criticize the FBI is anti-American. That hurts our democracy. That's your press, supposedly your fair press, that's always patting themselves on the back. The Time magazine saying, oh, the press, the noble press, the last bastion, democracy dies in darkness. They're standing up to that horrible autocrat Trump, that horrible dictator. And this is what they're covering up for. Some guy like me sitting on a couch could find out more information. I've been talking about this for 2.5 years. And they've been telling me, no, shut up. You're hurting the country by doing so. That's your free press. That's what we're dealing with now. 90% of the press that's negative towards Trump. You think we'll see any apologies? Of course not. So, yeah, this is just another example of the corruption. Hillary's team got to pick and choose with Lynch's team what the FBI was allowed to look at. Absolutely ridiculous. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be putting more material out maybe today. I won't be doing my live stream tomorrow. That's probably going to be rescheduled till Saturday at 10 in the morning because I have work obligations. So please recommend me some friends and look for some new material coming out shortly. So, all right, have a good one.